we will go to the wrist department, okay? And we will warm up the wrists and also add a little bits of complexity in the movement, okay? So it can be also an educational process. We will start with a very, very simple exercise, okay? You just tie your hands and you start to do this type of movement. Okay, one thing which is very important, don't do it two-dimensional, keep it three-dimensional. That means don't do just this, but add also rotation. Also, keep the wrists more or less in touch, okay, connected. Don't do just this, but keep them tight so that the wrist will be precisely the parts of the structure that perform the movement. It's not the fingers that do the movement, it's the wrists. Okay? It's the wrist. This is the part that does the movement. Another exercise that we do, well, it's a kind of difficult one, but again, it's a good challenge for your neuromuscular department, okay, is an exercise that you keep more or less your hand like this, and you start doing circles with the wrist. It's just the wrist. Okay, this is again the part of my fingers now that does the movement, and you can see that the wrist is basically still, okay, it doesn't do anything. Now you can see that the wrist is the part that leads the movement, that generates the movement. Okay. Okay, and then you use both hands so just concentrate on your wrist, okay? Think about moving, just give the order from your brain to the wrist and not, just try to imitate. Don't try to imitate a movement. Analyze what is the purpose and the goal, and then give the order, the mental order that corresponds to that goal. Your brain orders your wrist. Okay, so don't just look what I'm doing and try to do something like that. Forget what I'm doing and listen to what I'm saying to you. Put your wrist into motion, okay? Try to find the way, the nerves and the muscles, and make your wrist move independently. This is the goal, okay? What I'm doing, what you're watching me do is just the result of this specific order, okay? So this is what you should do. Forget what I'm doing. Don't try to do something like that. Just do what I'm telling you to do, okay? And this is not a cult, this is just training. Finally, another thing that you can do with your wrists is this type of movement. What I'm doing now is that I'm passing my hand under the other hand, but I use a lot of wrist movement, okay? So my wrist actually does a circle type, okay? Reversing it. Okay? Passing under, or over, over. I call it the butterfly exercise, okay? Just like, if it was a butterfly, you move the wings, I'm sorry. So, always keep the wrists in close contact with each other and just perform the movement. This exercise is really good for hand fighting, okay? Tactile control, okay? Grabs and things that you do when you are where you initiate, in the clinch or wrestling, range and position, and then you start to try, start searching around to find a better position, or start to pursue a technique, okay? Also, good movement when the other guy grabs you and you try to actually to escape from his grab, okay? If the guy is into judo or sambo, which is, a very difficult situation, very dangerous opponent in that case, and grabs you, immediately you want to escape from that grab, wrist grab, all right? So there is a lot of this type of movement involved, okay? So again, it's a skill, a warm-up, and something that you do it, and then when you find it further down the way as a technique, you know exactly what it is all about.